A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada incorporated the International Society for Krishna Consciousness in North America in 1966. A few years later, some of his disciples went to Europe to start opening centers for teaching Bhakti Yoga. In order to teach a simpler and more natural way of life, Srila Prabhupada inspired his followers to establish farm communities. He also wanted to open vegetarian restaurants with sanctified food.
The devotees moved here in July 80. They all came basically from Amsterdam. Amsterdam was a city temple. So there was a desire at that time to have a farm project, and we started to develop the gardens. We had a very good gardener at that time. We started with the cows, we started to renovate. Get up, Jama, get up. Although we bought the project as a farm project, because it is situated in a touristic area, it naturally started to attract tourists. Yeah. Until now we had like 500,000 people visiting Radhadesh who received guided tours. And then we developed a restaurant, cafeteria, bakery, boutique. And that has been very instrumental in making this place sustainable.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam
As you know, this Hare Krishna movement was started by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada had many different activities to spread this understanding of the Vedic philosophy, and one of them is through vegetarian food. Prasadam is, or sanctified food which is offered to Krishna, is so popular that after some time there's coming so many people you can hardly handle it. Sahagana lalita shri vishakanvitamscha jai jai shri radhe.
The Museum of Sacred Arts has come up with very high-class pieces of art in the form of paintings, sculptures. Then we also have the Bhaktivedanta College, which is an educational program in theology.
Well, I think the college is based on a couple of important principles. The first one is that ISKCON is primarily an educational institute and that its purposes are largely educational, albeit it's about spiritual education. Yeah. Secondly, I think the broad principle is there that a reflective, thoughtful approach to religious commitment is very useful.
Hare Krishna.
Also, the guest house was a very nice development which came at the right time and which allows the congregation to come and stay with their family, nice facility, and come for some retreat. It also allows us to do programs, Bhakti Yoga program.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
what happened for me is that I've grown up here in Radhadesh. Since I'm born, I've been here. I've learned to really love it a lot, because there's a lot of things within it that attracts, that is attractive to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just as, for instance, one thing I'm very much involved in is Kirtan. We do singing with all the different youth. We do this every evening here, and it's one of the key activities for us over here. If there's one thing within our philosophy, within our religion, within our activities that attracts the youth more than anything, it's definitely the Kirtan, the music.
Another point is the wood heating. Since 1.5 years now, we have this ecological wood heater with a biomass wood heater, which is burning waste product from the carpenters. It replaces completely the burning of oil, which is then very ecological and also which is financially very helpful to our community.
Food for Life was originally conceived by Srila Prabhupada as a local food relief. This program now helps people in many parts of the world.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Mid-80s we were in Soho Street, and the restaurant closes at 8 o'clock. We take everything, the sabji, the rice, the pakoras, the papadums, the salad dressing, mix it all together, and we'd go out and feed the homeless people. And people loved it. You couldn't make such a nice preparation. So that's how it started, and then from there we just continued on.
Okay, so we're just banging lots of cream, makes it nice. Krishna likes butter and cream and all nice milk products.
We prepare in the morning time, we take all the vegetables in, the fresh stuff, the potatoes, the carrots, chop it all up, put it into the pot, throw in your spice and all your stuff, and then we offer that to Krishna. And by offering that becomes a yogya, and that's the prasadam that we distribute to everybody.
I love the fact that we're helping people in the streets of London. We need to look after the most vulnerable people in society, look after the homeless. Even the students are vulnerable because not many of them have money. It's a spiritual food, it's a sanctified food, and the more people that have that, the better.
And because we don't have any money, so supermarkets and all businesses, they give me all their food. It's close to display by date, they give it all to me, and then we cook all that, and then we distribute all that. And it's so we're able to go under an environmental angle, under an environmental project, and because we're diverting the food from landfill, giving it back to the community, but in the form of Krishna Prasad.
Tell us a bit about this part of the project, Bertrand.
This is where the van has just arrived. We're unloading onto the rickshaws. There's 350 plates of food in these containers. These containers keep the food hot. And 2 rickshaws, one going to LSE, London School of Economics, this one, and the other one is going to SOAS, School of African and Oriental Studies.
How do you feel that the Hare Krishnas have helped you in your life?
I first met them a few months ago. I found myself homeless on the streets of London.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Soho Square, the main temple.
Yes.
I don't know much about Hare Krishna, but I'm reading on them now to find out more of what they follow, what they believe in.
Yeah.
I've read up certain amounts and I can relate to it.
Is it all done as voluntary work? Do you have a regular team?
Yeah, all volunteers, because actually spiritual life is what we call devotional service. So it comes from the heart. The prasad's distributed to mostly homeless people, single parents, ex-servicemen, in fact students, in fact everybody needs to get Krishna prasadam.
How do you fund the project?
We have a project called Compassionate Artists.
Okay.
And these are the people who do some benefit concerts because they like what we do. Musicians are people like a band called the Libertines, Pete Doherty, the band called Madness.
I ended up living in the temple in London, in Bury Place.
Oh.
Shortly after that, they asked me if I wanted to help start something in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
So then I ended up in Edinburgh, where we opened a temple, a very successful temple.
I was very fortunate that I went to a school that was just along from the Hare Krishna temple, which was in Edinburgh in Scotland. And that's where I first met the devotees. The temple there, that must have been about 1972, and I was only about 12 or 13 years old. I went there with a friend, but first of all we had to go through this hippie market to get to the temple. But once you got through there and you got up, it was actually a huge building.
Simplicity is conducive to spiritual practice, and Srila Prabhupada wanted rural communities where people could live in a more natural way.
And Karuna Bhavan, in one sense, one thing hasn't changed is that it was built on distribution of Srila Prabhupada's books. The whole success of Karuna Bhavan, we never really get involved in any other business. So since then, in 1987, so we're still continuing with the book distribution, but we're also branching out and doing more bridge preaching programs and contacting people from different areas of society. We began with one building and stables, which was converted in, and now there are 20 buildings, of which 14 are houses inhabited by our household congregation and devotees.
I do feel that the art of growing food is dying in the world, and I don't think the world can afford to lose that art. So I like to teach people how to garden, and I like to provide the best for Krishna. I like to grow the best flowers for Krishna and the best food. I feel it's a great offering to Krishna, and it's a great benefit for humanity.
My first activity was cooking and Sankirtan when the deities came in 1996, and my main service became like cooking, offerings, artis. Services increased to also dressing the deities and just looking after the main services like garlands, clean up, looking after guests as well.
Benjamin, what inspired you to come here to Karuna Bhavan all the way from France?
I actually wanted to have a volunteering experience abroad, and I tried to make research on woofing, and I found that there was that community that's exotic religious tea in Leshmago in Scotland.
Yes.
And I was just looking forward to spend some time with monks. And
the volunteer program here is very good because people come along that aren't experienced in Krishna consciousness, and it gives me the opportunity to give them prasadam, show them the temple, engage them in service. And I like to go out. I'm a local person, so I like to go out in the local community and bring people to the temple, and especially in the gardening circles in Scotland.
And the work is not what I was expecting, and thanks to Bhakti we are picking flowers to make garlands for the deities.
Yeah.
And we grow our own food and then eat it in prasadas. You feel really proud when you eat the things that you harvested the same day, and you can try feel the taste of the fresh food.
Society is now heavily dependent on fossil fuels. In Karuna Bhavan, they have installed a biomass boiler which heats the temple buildings. Water is heated by solar panels, and an air-source heat pump produces heat for the greenhouse. The community is self-sufficient with electricity from their own wind turbines. Thanks to modern technology, the whole system is very efficient and eco-friendly.
I've been doing service at Karuna Bhavan now, I'd say, for about close to 18 months. But recently they started a Bhakti course, so I decided to join the Bhakti course so I could learn more about Krishna conscious on the spiritual level, learning more about the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Upanishad, Bhagavatam, and I've learned quite a lot in the very short space of being on the Bhakti course. I think it's been 9 days now, and I'm picking up quite a lot. It's quite intensive, but it's enjoyable at the same time. You don't get insomnia, to say the least. You fall asleep pretty early at night.
Please tell us a bit about the Bhakti program here in Karuna Bhavan.
So we've just started it now on August the 13th, about 2 weeks ago. And the idea is to train up the devotees in all aspects of devotional service. Saturday we're going out on book distribution. Sunday we're having a Sunday program. This is a missionary movement, and we should never forget that, because certainly it is the most dear thing to Srila Prabhupada.
During previous centuries, a monastic way of life was more prevalent than today. Now people are less interested in understanding God or living a life of prayer. But in the Hare Krishna centers, there is an opportunity for spiritual practice.
I like helping the devotees, serving the devotees to the best of my ability, and also I like the ideology of the movement, what it stands for. I mean, I've been searching for quite a long time to find out who God is, and I've found Krishna conscious to be the perfect answer to what the question that I was looking for the answer for.
Yeah.
One thing is that I became a devotee by reading Srila Prabhupada's books, so I feel inspired to give those books to others. And if people of the devotees hadn't taken the trouble to go out and preach, then I wouldn't be here. So really I owe a debt to the devotees and to Srila Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada's one and only visit to Scotland, so that was in 1972. He came and stayed 2 nights. It was Edinburgh Temple at that time in Forest Road. He did a programme there, and in Glasgow Woodside Halls. Srila Prabhupada actually, he had quite an affinity for Scotland. He had quite a respect for his teachers, which were in the Scottish Churches College. One time the devotees were speaking with him about Scotland. They said, actually I'm Scottish, and then they said, by education. So we're quite pleased to have that connection with Srila Prabhupada in that regard.
Scotland was a very small town. Well, it was quite a large space, but it was a small community of devotees, very few devotees, no financial backing. Somehow or another, Srila Prabhupada, I think he was quite excited because he went to Scottish Churches College and for his own education. He came to Scotland. You know, I had to go out and try to make it look nice because Prabhupada was coming. So we just had to buy things on credit. But they trusted us. They were nice people in Scotland. Yeah. Very open-minded. Even though we were just such a small congregation, we didn't have loads of visitors. We had some regular people. But on the day that Srila Prabhupada came, it was packed. And we had posters out everywhere. Yeah, we got lots and lots of flowers, roses from the gardens, and it was a wonderful atmosphere.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
I've been coming here for a few years. I just like the devotees. Most of the places I go, it's because of, I would say, some kind of affection or relationship with the community or with the devotees. I don't know all the devotees here, no doubt, but I just feel very welcome. I feel the devotees here are very sincerely trying under little difficult circumstances sometimes maybe, but they're trying their level best to serve and please Srila Prabhupada. And I'm just attracted to their mood, trying to develop a community, which is not an easy thing to do, and in the mood of sharing. I know that the north of England and Scotland don't get so many visitors as perhaps they'd like. So I like to come here to just be with the devotees and share whatever little I've got to offer, that's all.
What makes you sad about the material world?
That people are suffering. So I like to give people the solution to their suffering. I've got a lot of relief from suffering myself, so I feel this suffering is unnecessary and there is a solution, so I've got the solution. So I want to do as much as I possibly can to relieve others' suffering, and that will give me happiness.
The fact that people think they're going to be happy by all the things they're aspiring for, but they don't seem to get happy. And they're missing out the goal in life, which is to find out who they really are and what life is all about, the purpose of life. And they're forgetting Krishna, so as a devotee we do our best to try to give people the opportunity to remember Krishna